The more seriously you take your growth, the more seriously the people will take you. That is according to John Maxwell. And that takes us to me welcoming you to this program, Your Image, the PR flagship program on television. Today, we're discussing the topic, brain drain from Nigeria. How can we curtail? And I have my panelists here. I have evident professionals and academics who are here to do justice to that. And also have a youth representative who is going to also talk to us. Permit me to welcome Dr. Ayo Odetoyinbo. Dr. Ayo Odetoyinbo is a lecturer with Mass Communication Christian University, Abeokuta. He's also an author. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Good evening.
To my immediate right, I also have a national figure talking about the former National Secretary of Nigeria Medical Association and MD Hope Hospital in person of Dr. Adomi Alayaki. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. I'm viewers at home. Good evening.
I'd also like to recognize the youth person. Somebody will be talking about the impact of this issue on the youth and on the future of the nation. And that is Adebayo Adebori. You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Adebayo Adebori is a founder Edwin, and he's also an educational consultant. You're welcome.
It's my pleasure to be here. Thank you very much.
I'm going to start with Dr. Alayaki, because this issue, I think majorly, because of his area of specialization, which is the medical line, is biting Nigeria harder than any other strategic sectors. The issue of brain drain from Nigeria, how has it affected us?
Well, thank you very much. And listening at home, when you talk of brain drain, I want to say there are two types of brain drain. We have the internal and we have the external. On the two sides, both are affecting us very, very hard. In the early 80s, I would say when they started then, when our clinics became, our hospitals became clinics and infrastructure were not provided, there were not enough personnel, poor remuneration, we were getting poorer, and people found out that, okay, if you move from Nigeria to another place, another country, where they have a better infrastructure, they have better remuneration, the number of hours you're going to work is stereotyped. It's not that you overwork yourself, you don't kill yourself because you want to work, and the better environment, security, and people will have to move. And when you move, you look at what you're earning. And in this country where you are, and you want to be patriotic, you want to stay, the same thing cannot be said about getting the same value of what you are putting into the system.
So the external.
So that's for the external.
That's for the external.
The internal. When you look at even in the country, some people that work with federal government, and those that work with state government, and those that work with local government and private. So the federal government still provides a little, form of better package for workers. And if you are working in the state and you can see that your counterpart at the federal level is earning close to 300,000 naira ahead of you, above what you are earning, about 200,000 naira above what you are earning. So there's no way you don't want to move to federal. So you have internal brain drain. But people are drifting. They drift from one particular working place to another one because of better environment, better remuneration. And when you even look at rural area to urban, people still move. Nobody wants to stay in the rural area because the environment is not conducive. The security there cannot be said about the same thing you're going to have in the town. So they want to move. So it's affecting us internally as well as people who move from internal to external.
Does that account for the exodus of at least 12 people in a week?
Yes, it will. Because everybody wants to make it in life. You went to school, you studied so that you can become somebody in life.
Well,
And when you look at your counterparts, your fellow doctors, nurses, pharmacists, elsewhere in other parts of the world, and that you know that you put in 6-7 years to study medicine, they put in the same number of years to study the same thing, and at the end of every month, when you convert what you earn here and what they earn over there, somebody is earning close to 5 million naira per month and you're earning just about 500,000 naira here.
Well, Dr. Alaki, I'm listening to you, but I'm still wary of that scenario that is painting out. I look at the environment as being different. And, well, Dr. Retenbo, in fact, let me first of all congratulate you that we are having you since you bagged your PhD.
No, I've been here.
This is the first time. This is the first time you are appearing.
About 4 years now. I was here sometime 2020. Remember?
Well, we have just listened to the medical area, and you represent the academics. Different environments with their different provisions, with their different factors that affect how they are taken care of. How has it affected the academics?
Just like Dr. Alayaki has said, the same thing happens in the academics. You see people going abroad and then not wanting to come back. Even apart from the brain drain we are talking about, what about those who studied abroad and they refuse to come home? That's another one, a big one. Yes, a lot of people, it may be difficult for you to go over there. But people who left and studied, they refused to come back.
As far as academics are concerned, what are the underlying issues that is making people not to come back and also making people to...
Like what I said earlier on, it's like what Dr. Alayaki has analyzed. The same thing. Remuneration, condition of service. You understand what I'm saying? Those are the things. Then you are with all. You want to do research, in the academics you continue to do research. If you don't do research, you are nobody. You don't have books here. The libraries are dead. And the government is not paying attention to such things. Look at the ASU strike. Those are some of the things that they talk about. Not making the academic environment conducive. Then how do you want to progress? Remember, during the 50s, Rockefeller Foundation and the rest of them. Do you have any foundation here? Are Nigerians making any foundation for further researches and studies?
Well,
so those are the things, those are the conditions.
Yes. Comparing ourselves with the international environment.
We should. That's the template.
That's okay. That's very unanimous.
Then why do we go abroad for medical,
go to school? I was thinking that,
why shouldn't you?
I was thinking that the people in the rural environment will still have to move up to a level that they will now accept that, well, there are new things to learn. And then remunerations, incentives will be at parity, or there will be differential in all these things.
Is it those working who are in the rural areas or the dwellers?
No, we are talking about those who are working
in the rural area.
Yes.
Yes.
Because when you look at the cost of living in the rural environment, it will be much, much cheaper than when you live in the town. So is there no justification for the disparity?
That people move to the rural area, or rural area people move to urban?
Okay, let's do it this way. If you stay in the rural area, if you provide all the amenities in the rural area, I would prefer to stay in the rural area.
I would prefer to stay in the rural area.
If there's security, if the environment is good, there's light, there's water, there's good roads, and it's in the rural area, I would prefer to stay there than to come to the urban, where you are exposed to a lot of things that will even be injurious to your own health. But do we have all those things? No. Okay, Adeboye, you've been listening to what the professionals are saying. I want to assume that the youth are still growing up, and they need to understand the environment before they begin to feel that they must make it within a day or a particular short period. So what can you abuse? Because I can see a lot of young ones also moving out of the country. So what is your complaint?
Well, personally, I I've been thinking about this brain drain in Nigeria of a thing. It is something that started from around late 1980s. So we grew up to see it, and we daily see reasons why we should also toll that same path. The part of moving out of the country.
Playing the Mali's music,
yeah, because now imagine we every year we have millions of Nigerians. Some people will be writing JAMB. We have millions writing JAMB. We have some leaving schools, NYSC and all that. And at the end of the day, you discover that many youths are faced with this high rate of unemployment in the country. Now, also for those that are even being, most of the people that are even getting paid, they are being underpaid. Now, we have some of our friends that are out of the country, maybe for one reason or the other. We see how they are doing well. We see what they are making. We see that their lives are getting better. And back in the country, we also discover that, despite the fact that we are trying to be more patriotic, we discover that even the country is not really doing much to us. Imagine being in a country whereby most of us work remotely now. We are trying to stay here in Nigeria, and we work with companies all over the world, and we discover that we are also being forced to, out of the major salary that are being given, we still need to buy diesel of 600 naira, 700 naira to fuel our generator. Apart from that, we are still going to pay electricity bill. Apart from that, we are still going to provide our home water. We provide our own security. We provide for every other thing that in other countries, once you are being taxed, the government has this obligation to ensure that they provide such. If they don't provide it, you know that you have to take they must be accountable for that. But here in the country, apart from the fact that we are paying our taxes, we are doing everything that we are supposed to do as citizens, we still discover that after doing all these ones, we are still meant to do the things that the government is expected to do, literally.
Well said. Dr. Lat, the consequences for all this exodus, what do you think is the future for Nigeria?
Well, thank you very much. Two things. The future of Nigeria is to get to a point that the experienced hands that you will need in almost all the professions, you will not have them there. Most professors are supposed to be there to mentor the students that are coming. Professors in medicine, consultants, nurses, pharmacists, they won't be there. The younger ones who are coming behind, they are aspiring to leave. It will get to a point in this country, go and write it down. In the next 5-10 years, those who have attained level 15, 16, 17, in government service will be retiring, and there will be no one to fill them. All those that will be filling them will not be best hands that you're supposed to have, because the best hands will have migrated. So it's going to affect us in all ramifications. That's number one. Number two, it may get to a point that those who are running somewhere, remember Ghana must go. It's happened in the 60s or 50s that, if I want to remember that, they sent Nigerians away from Ghana. In early 80s, we sent Ghana away from Nigeria. Now get to a point that the policy over there too, we shift and they send Nigerians away from those countries. Where will they come back to? So we should think about the future of these people who are migrating. If those countries are not doing the best for their own countries, we will have a place to go to. So we too should think about the consequences of, okay, if there's no change in policy over there and people keep on moving, then people will move and won't have best of hands. And if you now have a change of policy and say go back to your homeland, and those people are coming back home, where are they coming? What are they coming to meet?
But the Minister of Health said that we have medical personnel in abundance here in Nigeria.
That will be glad.
Okay.
I've been the past Secretary of NME. I still have the records of the number of doctors we have. When people say that we have 80,000 doctors, the record from 1960, number of doctors that have graduated, my own MDC number is 29,420. That is my number. I graduated as number 29,400. Show the my point. Yeah. So if you have 80,000 doctors, among them, majority are dead. So the ones alive, they are not up to 60,000. out of which over 50% are in diaspora.
And when you take the ratio of doctors
to patients, it's supposed to be one doctor
to 600.
to 600 patients.
Okay.
But in Nigeria,
Where are you in Nigeria?
oh my God! If you divide that, you find that what you are having is about one doctor to about 11,000 patients.
That's worrisome.
For example, the family physician, they will tell you that you spend 30 minutes with your patients. So which means that if I'm working between the hours of 8 and 4, that's we are working for 8 hours. I'm supposed to see only 16 patients in a day here to discharge my duty effectively well. But by the time you get to the clinic and you are seeing about 200 patients that want to see you, how do you want to do it very well? You cannot do it. And people, they are still moving on. They are moving on.
It is well. Dr. Odetungu, when I look at the position of academic institutions in the nation, this gap we are talking about is supposed to be filled by training, by ensuring that new students are molded, are graduated to fill this exit or the vacuum created by those people who must have moved on. What is the
must have moved on?
Who must have moved on?
My grandpa
pastors. Because Nigeria,
it is basic that people must move on.
Oh, sure.
It is basic that there must be brain drain.
In life.
It is basic that there must be brain drain.
No. We are looking at it from a positive perspective.
Okay.
That people who are qualified to also seek greener pastures will always do. I think it's a general phenomenon in the world. So if we say that, I'm now asking the academic institutions, which is the training ground for molding new graduates, new people that will become experts, what is their place in compensating for this gap?
Now, analyzing what the representative, the youth has said, where is the job, or where are the jobs that are going to move into? Even when they get the job, for example, if an organization is looking for about 5 people, you see about 40,000 applying and submitting them to aptitude test. And mark you Nigeria, by Nigerian system, man no man will be there. How many people do you know will be there? Where are you coming from? And you know nowadays the politician rules the whole place. You are seeking for a job, you don't go to your ward. The words have hijacked everything. So where is the hope? How many people are there unemployed? Youths. They are unemployed. And they say there are no jobs. Various governments, have they employed anybody in the last, some years back? Not to talk about the academics. So filling the gap is difficult because there is no desire at all to fill the gap. No, sir. Look at the federal government talk about 30,000. Have they paid anybody? We are asking about all this. Talk about I will not be the right person to answer that. We are not. Yeah, but we read in the papers.
Okay.
Every day we read about them and the rest of them. The rest of these stories going over the places. So the problem is if the government does not create the avenues and they are wherewithal, creating opportunities for people to move, they cannot do. We still depend on government at this side of the world. Yes, even go to banks. Banks are not employing people. They just have what? Part-time,
contract staff.
Contract staff. Contract staff, they can just
fire at any time.
Anytime. So only government, people are hopeful about government. I look at private sectors. How many people are private sectors even getting on these days? Are they making it? They are not making it. Now we want to talk about, for example, about nursing profession. We have my university where we start our nursing this session, and I bet you a lot of students we have, and the money is about 1.5, and we have a lot of students coming in, and they come in, where's their hope?
brain drain. Okay, if we have a lot of people coming, brain drain. If we have a lot of people coming, then it means that that guy you are talking about could be filled up.
No, that guy will not be filled up because we all know. Look at a deduction from what Dr. Alayaki said. Abroad, these are people that are taking care of them very well. Nurses, the social workers, doctors, pharmacists, and the rest of them. So you think nurses, will graduate from us and stay in Nigeria? When we get the job, when we get to the profiling solution, we will come to that. But before that, let me ask Adibori, from your own understanding of the scenario that have been painted and the situation which we have found ourselves, can you come up with those things that you think has been the root cause, particularly as it affects the youth?
Based on what you have said, one of the things that we will actually talk about is leadership. I think we actually have a systemic leadership issue. There is something here in Africa that has to do with leadership. We are mostly we have brought ourselves to the point that we see leadership as an avenue to occupy position. And I think leadership should be more about impact. The impact you can make and how you can actually create change. So I think that is one of the major issues that we are having. Now another thing that we can actually look at as one of the causes is, okay, currently university students, public university students they're at home. Now at that point in time, we are sending a message to these people that, we don't really need you. If for about 3 months you can be at home and nobody really cares. So I think we are sending a message to them that you are not really important. So if you find an avenue for you to get out of the country, you are free to leave. So those are some of the major things that I want to actually talk about as far as the causes of this is concerned.
Yeah, thank you. I think we have to have a break now. We will continue with the other areas that we like to touch. So on this note, I really like to thank Dr. Ayodetebo for being on this platform.
Thank you.
And congratulations. We wish you more heights.
Okay.
In your academic delivery.
So John.
And to Dr. Alayaki, I don't know, you should be looking older. It's like you are getting younger. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks,
and by next week, we will be going to other areas so that we can finally see how we can contribute to alleviating all these shortfalls in Nigeria. Adibori, thank you. It's been nice having you. So until next week, when we have you again, I want to say thank you. To our viewers, I really appreciate your time with us. Join us next week, same time, on this topic. Thank you so much.